All right, hey, it's Matt, BlindGuysGarage. I don't know where I left off last, but let's just get straight into this. So we pulled this motor, put head gaskets on it. Per customer's request, we did not replace the timing chains because it's an extra $500 or something like that. So now we get to do it again because we have timing chain rattle. So let's get into it. I'm not going to really video pulling the motor. I've already done that. So you can go down and watch that a little bit. I didn't really video a great job last time either, but so we're going to pull it out, do a full timing set on it, and we'll bring you back once the motor's out of the car or coming out of the car. Not sure yet, but bring you back then. All right, and as you can tell, we are working on the Ford Explorer. Get the motor out today. Here's a video of why it's out. And so now we're going to do the timing chains. There's plenty of really good videos out there on how to do the timing chains, but I will give you a couple of tricks I've learned when working on this motor so far. Number one is you don't have to take the water pump off the timing cover. Timing cover, brand new water pump gaskets installed. Just unbolt the bolts around it and pull the timing cover off. You don't have to pull the oil pan to pull the timing cover. Another good note to self. See, you don't have to pull the oil pan for the timing cover. Now next, to pull the oil pan, there is a couple big bolts right here in the bottom, there, and there. Well, that's not all. You got to pull the lower oil pan first, and I think there's 8 of these, I think. So you take the lower oil pan off right here, and then you pull all these. But we'll get you an example of that once we get this pan off. So, bring you back in a bit. As we zoom in on this oil pan right here, the front of the pan, a little dirt, and there's some little fine particles of, not really sure if it's metal. I'll have to actually get a magnet to find out. But look at the back. Yeah, that's disgusting. All right, well, we got the oil pan pulled off, so we got the motor broke down far enough to put timing chains on it now. So, like I said, I'd bring you back to show you the oil pan and what it kind of looks like to get the oil pan off. When you pull the bottom plate off right here, this is what you're left with. So it removes this piece here. You got to come and pull all these bolts. I call them saddle bolts. Actually, I think I have this oil pan upside. No, I don't. So you pull all these bolts. I call them saddle bolts. You know, there are, I was correct, 8 of them. So now, the only other thing you'll need special when working on this is a 1/4 inch T30 Torx bit, or a long-headed T30 Torx, because it goes right here, and whatever socket you use has to fit in this hole right here. Same thing on this other side over here. See, same thing on this side. I actually got in here with a 1/4 inch ratchet without the extension on it. I was able to get it out, but a big head won't fit in here. See how tight that is? See, and then we'll go to this side over here again. Show you one more time. See how tight that is. So it's a 1/4 inch T30 Torx is the number 1 tool you'll need, and then you'll need a set of these big, these big reverse star sockets right here, because there's a few different sizes of them. There's like a 10 mil, and then this one I don't know exactly what size it is because I haven't pulled it out of the toolbox yet. But then you'll need this guy. So just for a couple little tweaks that you might need to know, and we'll start taking the timing chains apart. Oh, and a 27mm socket. Now the oddball tools, that's what you'll need: a 27mm socket, a set of these reverse stars, because like I said, there's 3 different reverse stars, so in the sense of it's cheaper to buy a whole set, and a T30 Torx bit. So there's that. Now as I start taking it apart, I'll bring you back as things go and kind of show you what I do and how we do it. And then I'll also link a video from Cloyes that shows you how you do this whole process. Theirs will be a lot more detailed than mine, but there's a few things they leave out, such as getting the friggin' oil pan off and needing special tools. You know, so they don't tell you need a special tool here, and they don't tell you need a special tool here on the camshaft, jack shaft. So, bring you back in a bit. Alright, so now we're going to show you how we set the timing on this thing. in the last video I showed you kind of roughly how you do it. Now I'm actually going to show you because there's no timing cover in the way. So if you look right here, there's a big dimple in the gear on the crankshaft right here. See, there's your crankshaft gear and there's your big dimple. All right, here's your crankshaft tool. See the big notch and the little notch. All right, so it goes over. And then you put the big notch, sorry I'm working one-handed, into the gear here. Just like this. So the big notch just sits and locks in. And then you'll tighten down that bolt right there and to clamp the crankshaft in place. So I'll bring it back in just a second. All right, when you're done, it looks a lot like this. So you'll see the bottom thing here, hooks on the crank, top, hooks in that big notch on the crank. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take it and push the crank up until it bottoms out on the bottom of the block right there. And that is top dead center. So now you know where TDC is. So now you come up here to the camshaft and we'll confirm, we'll go to this cam because it's showing at us, that we are TDC on the right stroke. And you'll know that because the two notches will be towards the bottom. See how they're off centered towards the bottom? There you go. So now you know your TDC on the correct stroke. So just for curiosity reasons, let's wander around to this side and see what this one looks like. See, same thing. So you know the motor's currently in time, and we'll start taking the timing chains apart. So bring it back for that in just a second. All right, so now we're on the back of the block. As you can probably tell already, I've done the chains. So we put a brand new guide in, very key to get this washer into the right place. There's like a sleeve washer thing that hooks into the guide and keeps it from walking forward or back or side to side. Next, when you're guiding the chain in from right here, you have to take your screwdriver and guide it in an angle. I can't show you that on the thing, but like I said, there's a great video that will show you exactly. And then here's the last bolt. Double check his O-ring, make sure he's good right here, and that's it. Put it together. So this side's done. We'll take the timing tensioner tool out, which is still there from setting the timing, and I'm going to leave the sprocket holder here intentionally to make sure the cams don't turn. So bring it back. All right, here we are so far. We've got the main timing set off. That's easy. One big bolt in the center, it pulls straight out, and the bottom gear slides off with it. This is the next easy thing. Of course, you got to pull all the timing guides off. They're easy, 8mm and 10mm. This one here is 8mm up top and star heads in the bottom. Like I said, you'll need some stars. So these are easy. But the next one is this top one up here. So, all right, well, I had full intent of videoing getting that guide out, but it didn't happen. It was a bear. I got mad, quit videoing. So here's where we're at now. This guide coming in and out is really designed to be done with the head off the car. So remember that when you're doing it. I called a friend of mine and he said that Ford changed the design, I think in 03, of the cylinder head. And this head is the casting is shifted slightly forward, therefore making it a lot harder to get the cam off. The timing chain off. So now we're just going to torque all this stuff. Everything's kind of loose right now. So let's torque it all up and call it a day. And we'll be able to put all these covers back on and be done with this thing. Alright, well, engine's going back in. So let's see what happens. Alright, well, engine's in. Just try to give you a quick update. Here's where we're at. These things, these Ford Explorers, man, I don't know what it is. It takes me 3, 4, 5 times longer to get these things in than anything else I ever work on. Just the way the motor mounts are designed, the way the torque converter bolts are designed, everything, it just, yep, is what it is. So, I'll bring it back probably tomorrow. I'm probably gonna go in, call it a night. So, later. All right, motor's in. Everything's hooked up except for the fan. We don't have the fan on the front of the motor. Double check, make sure there's nothing else that's gonna be in the way on the fan, on the belt system. But, so we don't have the fan on yet. Not a big deal. Just do a quick once over. Probably should pull the funnel out and the oil jug. So that's what we're gonna do. Just take a quick once over, and then we will set you up and fire it up. All right, put the battery up, see what happens. That's good so far. We still have a little bit of a hunt. A very slight tap. We got a vacuum leak or something somewhere. I'll find it. But it sounds a lot better than it did. Alright, well, here's an update on this Explorer now. So, I've been discouraged and I quit videoing in certain places. We got the motor back in. As I posted a short, and you probably will see in the video, the bottom end was full of garbage, trash. Got it all done, got it clean, put it all back together, new timing chains, motor's back in, fired up, runs, but now the timing chain noise is gone, but it has no oil pressure or very minimal oil pressure. And the longer it sits at idle, if it sits at idle too long, the timing chain noise will come back. You rev it up, it'll pick oil pressure back up. So at idle, it's only got like 4 or 5 pounds, it's not much. I put a manual gauge on it to find out what it had. So at this point, I don't know what we're going to do with it. So I'm waiting on a decision to be made by my buddy. So I call him a customer earlier in this video. I mean, at the moment, I guess he is a customer. He's paying me to fix his truck, but it's a friend of mine. So at this point, I hope you're all enjoying it. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe. I read them all and I reply to every comment on the videos. So hope you're all enjoying it. Have a good one.